it's crazy that literally that came completely unprompted.
Garrett was kissing babies on his way to the stream today.
Yeah,
Give the man cut the man
gotta
yeah,
wave
cut
to
him
the
some
fans,
slack. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
gotta wave to
literally
the fans.
completely unprompted.
Yeah.
That's so
Happy Money Monday though, folks. Good to see all you guys again.
Oh, yeah. Garrett being slow, completely.
I should have deleted it. Fuck.
Yeah. Malik, what's up? David, what's
What
up?
up, Malik?
I'll forgive you. How's everyone feeling?
Yeah, I totally should delete it. Malik in the cut. What up, Malik? Yeah, David. Yeah, cool, sweet. So yeah, whatever questions y'all got, let us know. We should have Corey joining in too, as well. For those of you guys who are either like fresh beginner Amazon sellers or you're looking to start the Amazon wholesale business model in 2025, last week we posted 2 really good Buy Box Bandits episodes. One on getting started selling on Amazon with Warner, right? And then one on getting started with wholesale with Corey. So you guys should check out all those on your favorite podcast platform. Corey channel live. Corey did. Oh, we got him in here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
What
sir.
up, Corey?
Right up late there.
Mr. Lighting.
Yeah.
How we living?
That looks good. Yeah.
What's the under over on how many times it's gonna go pure red today?
Ooh,
I
yeah.
got
I'm
setting the line at 2.5.
Yeah, the
2.5.
blue light will
Well, I'm
like
gonna
go
hammer
out,
the under.
go off every like 10, 15 minutes or so. So yeah, probably at least once or twice.
So
Hammer the under. Okay.
and you can't specify what color it is. It just changes.
No, you can. So I've got one that's like bright red right here, one that's bright blue right here, and they just combine for kind of like a pinkish purple. But sometimes, again, the blue one will just like short out for a couple of seconds, then it just looks like I'm in like hell, just like all red.
That makes you pay that electric.
That's when the
Yeah.
suppliers say no. You kick on the
Yeah,
full
we just
red.
have
It's
it,
like,
like,
what did you say
flashing
to me? And then you're on the video call and they're like, all right, sorry, sir.
We should actually get that set
we'll
up.
get the price sheet set right away.
Some mood lighting. That'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So let us know what Amazon questions we can answer for you guys. A lot of you guys have been getting after it in January here, taking full advantage of 2025. Been loving seeing all the boxes and shipments going out on social media. So keep up the good work there. And yeah, let us know what we can help you with. Tony
says
Tony's
interesting.
I'm gonna Google it here.
Interesting.
Why do some stores remove the transparency tag from electronic clearance? That's a good question. I mean, technically, if as being part of the transparency program, the manufacturer agrees to put transparency labels on every single unit they manufacture, not just the units going on Amazon. So if the transparency tags are removed, it could either be the clearance company remove those tags, or maybe the manufacturer didn't apply them to those units. Could be any number of issues.
Should I create an LLC? Yeah, Cat King. So you're not required to. It's kind of a personal choice. You should do some, research on like popular asset structures and everything, but you're not formally required to. Janelle says, I went through my applications in my seller account and saw them approved for various brands, but I don't recall submitting the actual applications. Is that normal? I don't think they would just show in there, right?
Probably either you might have done the auto ungates, like anything you didn't have to apply for, but auto approved, it would show up there, Janelle. That's probably what that is.
You might have also just clicked the request in SellerAmp too and not recall it. On that, for those of you guys watching, right? There's lots of auto ungates. Like if you are confused on gating or anything like that, there's good tutorials out there. But there are a bunch of automatic approvals, right? J. Crew Mercantile, Stafford, 32 Degrees, Athletic Works. There's a bunch of them, yeah.
Walk of shame. That's funny, Mira.
Day and forgot my TJ Maxx card.
Oh, that's you'll probably never forget it though. You know what I mean? Even writing something down like that, you'll probably remember it from now on. Can I open an Amazon seller account outside the U.S.? I have my LLC, but I have to travel outside the country. I'll be out of the country. I'll have the documents. Would that be a problem? I don't know if they're doing postcard verifications these days, but potentially. But as long as someone can receive it and tell you the code at that address, you'll be good to go. But regardless, I mean, you're watching our stream on a Monday afternoon, like go through the process and find out, you know what I mean? But I don't think it'll be an issue. Yeah.
I think they're still doing postcards. I haven't heard anyone talking about the video interviews, but I've seen a couple people talking about postcards. Feels like they change the sign up process all the time.
My husband and I are learning. We're new here. We're learning a lot from you guys. Don't have a shipment yet. We're learning. Yeah, I mean, this is a good place to be. Ask any questions. We all have tons of hours of YouTube, Twitter content, all good stuff that you can continue to kind of just indulge yourself in what we're talking about. But you're in the right spot.
Yeah, 100%, Bianca. Whatever you need to make sure to let us know here. What lane isn't oversaturated? Nothing is oversaturated if you're good, and everything is saturated when you're a beginner and are still learning. Right? That provides opportunity because that shows you that business models don't fail, people do. Business models don't succeed, people succeed, right? And that if you commit to something for 6 months or for a year, it's going to be pretty difficult for you not to get pretty good at it in general. But if you're only willing to put in a couple of weeks or a couple of months, there's pretty much 100% guarantee that you're not going to find massive success. The compounding returns in life, right, whether in health, wealth, and relationships, come over the long term.
That's such a good point too about like, not that business models irrelevant, because obviously you don't want to be like starting a newspaper in 2025 or something crazy. But in general, it's like successful people are going to crush it regardless of what business they're in. Every model that we're a part of, right, whether it's wholesale, arbitrage, whatever, anything regarding selling on Amazon, there are people that are going to say it's oversaturated, but it's not. It's really just a skill issue at the end of the day. It's an issue of who you know a lot of the times too. And it's just an issue of not being in the game long enough, because I've said this a million times, but you rarely meet an Amazon seller who's been actively selling for more than 2 years who isn't doing well, right? Relatively speaking.
Borderline impossible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I have to email some companies for an invoice? I'm having trouble understanding how to get one after purchasing an online product for Ungating. Yeah. So in 2025, you're just going to use the emails. You could ask them for a formal invoice. It's not really going to change much. So you could totally ask them for a formal invoice. However, those emails are going to be how you're going to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Garrett, where's your house plant?
Where's my house
That's
plant?
funny. Yeah.
I guess
You're the one missing a
Oh,
plant. Yeah.
I never realized you had one in the background, Corey.
Looks good.
Oh yeah.
We got
Oh,
a couple leaves from Miles over there, so we're
Nice.
good.
I noticed.
We're covered.
As a few.
Yeah.
Um,
Need an LLC to get tax exempt. In some states, yes. In some states, no. Here, but getting tax exempt, getting a reseller certificate is a really good play to help avoid sales tax. And honestly, if you're even considering getting sales tax exempt and you are in a state that requires an LLC, you should probably go through with the LLC process.
Okay, let's save Kat $5,000 here. So she says, there are people on social media offering an Amazon FBA system for $5K. Is it worth investing the money, or should I build it myself from scratch? So Kat, think about it this way, right? Because when I tell people this version, they realize how crazy this whole thing is. So basically what the ad that you saw is saying is, hey Kat, give us $5,000 up front and we will give you $1,000, $2,000, however much they claim every month for the rest of your life. And when you think about how ludicrous that statement is, it's like, okay, I give this guy $5K and then he's going to give me $2K back every month forever. Like, it just doesn't make sense, right? It's not very realistic, because if that were true and if that were legal and if that worked, then everybody would do it and then it would no longer work. So the answer is no, it's a scam 99.99% of the time. And learning to build the system yourself and build the business yourself and all the skills and everything that comes as a part of that is very worth it and is kind of the whole point.
Yep, that's 100% true. Do I need an LLC in Florida? I believe you do, but here, just give it a quick Google search. I'm sure you'll get verification on that. Does it usually cost to get a tax exempt certificate? Not the times I've done it. Yeah. And it saves you a shitload of money too.
Oh yeah. It might cost to get like the business entity that can get one. Some states you can get it without a business entity, but no, you get that resale permit. Pretty much any store will take it in person. Mira, I think you were even saying we're hitting some TJ Maxx, so that'll save you money immediately right there.
But
and then some websites will also take it. Just look up which websites take it and which don't. So a lot of them you have to be a 501c3 or like a charity for them to accept it online, but you can still give it a whirl, see if they take it.
Yeah, and
yeah,
a lot of
which is a huge hurdle we have to jump over in the store. You actually have to like reach out to the manager in the store.
Talk to him. Yeah. You got to be willing to do that though if you're gonna make money. Yeah. Can you guys talk about how to get a reseller certificate for a tax exempt? Just look up a CPA YouTuber in your state. Each state, it's like fill out these 2 forms and then you get it mailed to you or get it online. But yeah, just look up like how to get tax exempt your state. Yeah. I would love to see a female Amazon seller on the panel. We've done a bunch on Buy Box Bandits. Yeah.
This is just the typical cast, Elizabeth. It's not. It's just the 4 of us. We do it every week. It's not nothing crazy. Yeah.
It's about FDA selling. Nah. Andy, you've been coming to these for years. So I'm sure he's bantering, obviously.
If you get Boxem, you have the product to be shipped straight to. So Boxem's a software. It's not like a warehouse or anything like that. It kind of seems like that's what you're asking. So it's a tool that you'll use to ship to Amazon, whether that's from a prep center or from your house. So you won't like ship to it. That would be cool though.
Do you have your personal address for your seller account? Does that ever get to customers for shipments or returns? Yeah, it's going to be on all your, well, if you're doing FBA, never. If you're doing FBM, you're going to have a ship from address. You're going to have one. For that, you could theoretically use a PO box though. Yeah. Yes, to the lady seller, get rich quick, please. We working on it, RD. We working on it. Yeah. We'll have more inventory versus other spellings on listing, give you more buy box percent. Nah.
I assume they mean other sellers.
Yeah. Theoretically, I mean,
Yeah, it does, Alexander, especially if you're FBA. FBM, it doesn't matter. But with FBA, the more inventory you have, the more fulfillment centers you are in across the country, right? So if you got 1 unit, it's in one fulfillment center, obviously. But if you got 100, it's probably in 10 to 15 different fulfillment centers.
That's also the value of going deeper in SKUs, right? If you send 100 units, well, you have inherent access to across, states across the country. Whereas if you have 5 units, then you're probably out going to like 1 or 2 fulfillment centers. And so deeper in SKUs, it will typically mean and lead to a bigger buy box share and more sales, as long as obviously the listing can accommodate that sort of volume.
Yeah, don't really worry about that though. Like a lot of people get caught up in like looking at competitor stock counts and everything when like a bunch of people have max order quantities on anyway, which hides their stock counts, which pretty much automatically invalidates that, unfortunately. So yeah, don't really worry about stock counts.
Checked your inventory. It doesn't say available. It says reserved. That means you're probably an FC transfer. So it's probably shuffling between like the warehouse you shipped it to originally, and they're taking it to more places across the country, right? Or that's like sometimes they might be like inspecting it for a short term, whether that's like a remeasure or anything like that. Like there's some more obscure things, but generally it's probably just an FC transfer.
Hello, Miles. Appreciate you, Lax. No hello to the rest of the gang though.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I mean, it's very nice hello there too. When listing a product strategy listed in the US, I'd say just the US. Yeah. You will see a boost though from other countries though, for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely, Alexander.
No, Malik, what happened, Malik?
Malik's always got good vibes. Yeah, what's going on, man?
Strangest product you've listed? I've come across a bunch of like dildos storefront stocking one, which is pretty good.
You've sold a bunch.
Storefront stocking. Yeah. Like the dude had like random OA, like normal OA products.
We've sold a bunch of like, honestly, dildos and like adult entertainment products. We had one adult product distributor that we worked with for a while that was pretty profitable. Would you recommend Amazon to Amazon flips? So I don't have any experience with A to A flips. I know Saul is somebody in the community who has a lot of experience with that. He's talked about it at length. Seems to be a good business model, but again, I'm not familiar with it. Have you guys done much of it?
There's some new Keepa product finder filters that rolled out that make it a lot simpler. I bought some stuff the other day just like try it out. It's pretty fun.
Nice.
It's there's like if you guys have less than $10,000 to $20,000, there's no reason to even think about it, just because it's inherently riskier, right? Like there's always the chance that Amazon comes back into stock and stays in stock, and you're not going to sell the stuff. When there's so much low hanging fruit, there's no reason to touch riskier sourcing methods. But it's fun if you just want a different way to source some stuff. It's kind of more you might have to wait longer, but it's a little bit more guaranteed profit from what I've seen so far.
And higher margins too. Yeah.
How to change from a personal Amazon seller account to a business account after you get your LLC. So it's as simple as going into your account information and just changing from, I guess, what you'd be a sole proprietor to an LLC as your company type.
Yep.
But a tip is before you do that, open up a case with seller support and tell them that you're going to be making that change. So just say, hey, heads up, we're going to be changing our company information inside our Seller Central account. This is us making this request. This is not a spam request, just FYI. And you submit that case and then you make the change and you shouldn't have any issues. And the reason you submit that case first is sometimes Amazon has been known to freeze your account for a day or two or flag your account if they see you update that information and they suspect that it might be spam for some reason.
That's fine. Going to do my first FBA shipment. Any suggestions for FBA and lotions and body wash? Saw something about a 3-foot drop test. Yeah, I mean, like you'll be good to go as long as you're using a good box. With all those, box them for listing. You'll be good to go, man. Just use the prep required and everything. Be good to go. Is it a problem to have your listing inactive until you get more product in? Not whatsoever. That's propaganda. Yeah, don't worry about that.
Yeah, it's not
you,
a big deal.
You might hear people talking about it because if you stay in stock for like a really long time, Willie, you'll get slightly more sales, but it's nothing to really like be super concerned about. That's probably what we've heard about though.
If I'm
yeah, here we go.
ungated in a brand, do I need to get ungated in that category? So gating can happen at a few different levels. So sometimes you can be gated in a whole category. Sometimes you're gated in the brand. Sometimes you're gated at the ASIN level, right? So you might be ungated in the brand and ungated in the category, but maybe you can't sell that specific ASIN. So it really just depends. Janelle, the best way to know is to go in and just create a test listing. Try to send the product to FBA just as a test and see if it lets you. If it does, you should be fine.
Yeah. I find, most categories though, honestly, are auto ungate though. Sourcing is my struggle. I feel like I'm going through all the things I've learned to find OA products. I'm not finding any good deals. Yeah. So we're definitely in the slower time of the year in terms of like OA sourcing, Valentine's Day and President's Day and St. Patrick's Day. Like there'll be more deals, but like there's still stuff all over the place. And Mira, it's not that you're like not finding the right products. You're actually looking at the right products, most likely. If they have sales ranks, low sales ranks, people are making money on them, right? You're just not using the correct discount. So for example, this morning, right, I found a listing on Walmart that was not profitable unless you use tax exempt and unless you use 8% gift cards, right? So literally without that, they weren't good. With it, they were good. Where most beginners are going wrong is they're not using those correct discounts, you know?
Ian said, how often do you guys do these live videos? Ian, every Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern. And we've been doing them for what? Over a year now.
Year and a half,
almost
right?
a year and a half now.
That's it.
The profits being made on groceries categories you guys recommend. Whatever you find stuff in, all the categories are profitable. It just depends where you're looking, right? Where you spend more time sourcing and looking at the sorts of sites you're buying from, the sorts of suppliers you're buying from. Naturally, you're going to have advantage in that category. Groceries specifically, right? They don't have returns, and so that's to the right person with the right sites and suppliers. That is infinitely more valuable than someone than other categories. And so it just depends where you're looking. I wouldn't necessarily recommend sourcing per category. But just get good at certain sites and then continue to dig into those particular sites.
Grocery's good because there's no returns and stuff, but it's also like it's harder to find kind of adjacent opportunity a lot of time in grocery. Like you might find a similar multi-pack or that kind of thing compared to like clothes or toys or one of those. There's usually like at least one or two other variations or like, you know, in toys, it's like the different character. It's the same, same series, same sale, that kind of thing that you can probably buy more of. Grocery tends to be like one of the harder categories to source, but it also stays profitable pretty long if you're able to find something that's good. So it's like it's a trade-off there.
Regardless, it's always going to be more valuable to dig deeper in a particular site or supplier as opposed to digging into a particular category.
What's the easiest way to get ungated in Yankee Candle? I tried Yankee Candle website, but got denied. Hey, getting declined is 100% normal. Keep submitting and it's going to approve you. Sorry, so typically it's going to happen about 5 to 10 times per brand.
Yeah, Frontier Co-op.
Yeah, Frontier Co-op.
I wouldn't buy something just to get ungated though. Just source, find something profitable, and then use whatever receipt, order confirmation, invoice that you receive from that order and use that to get ungated.
Yeah, as long as it's from a big retailer there. Yeah, of course we're in the Twitter chat too. Do you guys recommend FBA or FBM? Mainly FBM when you're a beginner, but only if it's an item that has other people FBMing, right? So if you have one item that you source, another item, and one item has only FBA people, one item has 40% FBM people, 60% FBA people, you can go ahead and FBM that one that other folks are FBMing, but you're going to have to FBA the one that is only FBA friendly. You're not going to be able to FBM it. Do you put packing slip? Nah, ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah.
I remember I got a customer complaining about it like really early on, and it was like, oh, I'm supposed to do that, and then it's never mattered since then.
What is the expiration length on grocery? I think the
like
rules technically, I think it's got to arrive at an FBA fulfillment center with minimum 90 days out from the expiration.
Yeah,
and that's 90 days plus the serving size. So if you're selling a supplement, right, and let's say it's a 90-day supply of this supplement, well, your expiration date needs to be 90 days out from when it hits FBA, plus another 90 days to account for the serving size. So that's 180 days in that case, right? And it varies slightly based on the type of consumable product. So I would just Google search Amazon FBA expiration requirements, and it's going to list them all out for you because they do change from time to time.
How come a store receipt is okay to submit for RA? It's interesting for like inauthentic complaints. Yes, for ungate requests, typically no. Unfortunately, Mira. Yeah.
Just because they want to see your info on it, and
Yeah.
they're not gonna write down your info on the receipt. Why using? Can you explain why using SSA can make FBM competitive compared to FBA? So it's not really gonna like change how competitive it is with an FBA offer if the listing is super FBA friendly. Like if you're looking at buy box and there's just no rotation FBM, it's not going to change much. It basically just kind of helps you offer the customer the kind of the best shipping window on their end, right? And then it also protects you in case it doesn't show up by then. If you have your own like custom template, you could accidentally like overpromise and be late, and then you could get dinged for a late delivery rate basically. But you're not really like if FBA sellers are hogging sales, they're still going to beat you as an FBM seller.
So Kat, good question here. Why do people fail in e-commerce? And there's really just two answers. So the main reason people fail is they're doing the right thing. They're just not doing it long enough. So they're just not consistent enough, right? They make 10 calls, but they do it, every other week for 4 weeks, and they say it doesn't work. So they just
100 emails and then call it.
Yeah. So it's either lack of consistency or just lack of doing things long enough. So they might be doing the right things and they might be consistent, but they just don't do it long enough. So it's either consistency or time in the game. It's really the only two things that cause people to fail.
And then Miles is also going to add just not talking to enough people, right? Not talking to enough people in the space. That's, I mean, a direct correlation. Everyone that we know that's consistently putting out material, putting out content, documenting, right? Not even necessarily whatever content you're putting out, like being in the space, being a member of the space, you naturally have a way more advantages than people that are just hiding out in the shadow.
Can we ungate Lego? Yeah, Lego is hard gated for most people right now, but Target's a great site to ungate from. Yeah.
Yep. The box
also just like not following the rules, buying from shady suppliers, buying from like selling things not according to the listing, shipping. I mean, just not doing the simple things that Amazon wants you as a seller to do. That's kind of going without being said.
What up, Beck? Does box expiration on F&Q's meet regulation? Yeah, of course, man. The only if you've seen like the thing where it says the expiration date text has to be big, that's on like a big multi-pack or like a sealed box. Is if you've seen, there's like one very specific case where it asks for like a bigger font. I remember digging in on that.
But there's only one seller, and that seller only sells the brand. Is that a bad cop? See what their name is. But honestly, most likely not. I don't think I've ever seen that on Goodfellas specifically.
So he's saying that there's only one seller, and that seller only sells that brand. So as long as that seller isn't the brand themselves, which they're probably not, then you're fine, right? It's chances are that one seller just does arbitrage for that one brand, and he just maybe has a good source on it, and you can kind of come in and steal some of his thunder. So that could be a good listing potentially. When do you think big brands like Nike, Lego, Adidas, etc., will allow people to apply to sell? Jonah, maybe again soon, maybe never again. We just won't know because Amazon kind of makes these decisions as they please. So the takeaway here is start looking for some other brands, possibly some that are even a little smaller or maybe like medium size that a lot of people have never heard of, but still sell really well on Amazon. There are tens of thousands of brands out there like that, and they're going to be way less competitive than your Nikes or your Adidases or your Pumas of the world.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
What would be
account manager reach out? Yeah, never hit them back. They just like pitch you on like stupid like additional program. Like nothing bad's gonna happen to you, but it's not helpful.
They'll like charge you for extra customer support or like help you run ads. So I've only ever heard it being useful for people who are like trying to get into private label and like already are at massive scale.
What would be a
grocery?
reason?
There's not much OA because grocery products are like really big and they're expensive to ship. So that's why groceries mainly RA and wholesale, specifically wholesale, where for RA they're getting transported in pallets to the store, sold individually, and wholesale they're getting transported in pallets, period, to save money.
Although at one point I will say I had a really nice niche with doing OA with grocery, like specifically from Walmart, because guys, there are and this is just a sourcing tip in general, but there are so many listings out there where there's no FBA sellers on the listing and the price is super inflated. So I'll give an example. The brand was Juanita's. It's Juanita's tortilla chips. And you could buy this tortilla chip, a bag of these chips for like $2 from Walmart, right? So $2 a bag. This was back in like 2018. At the time on Amazon, there was a listing for a 4-pack of these Juanita's chips, and the 4-pack was selling for $39.99. So my buy cost for 4 bags was $8. It was selling for 40. So the profit was like $17 per sale, something crazy, right? But the sales rank sucked. It was ranked like 200 or 250K in grocery. It wasn't selling that well. And there were no other FBA sellers. It was all FBM sellers. So what I did, and I kind of carved this into my own niche and found a lot of products like this, is I bought the chips, I bundled them into a 4-pack, I sent them into FBA. So now I'm the only FBA seller, and I undercut the buy box by like $10. So instead of selling at $39.99, I'm selling at $29.99. So instead of making a $17 profit, I'm only making a $7 profit, but now I'm selling 30, 40, 50 units per month, when before I showed up, the listing was only selling like 3 or 4 times per month. So this is a strategy you can use to identify those undervalued products, if you want to call them that, and come in as the only FBA seller at a good price and really juice up that listing and make a lot of sales. That's a really good way.
So one time I asked Amazon support about that, and they said that only works if your jump shot's clapped. So unfortunately, that's the kind of thing that like might only
horrendous
work
jump
you,
shot.
Unfortunately.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, if you're good at basketball, this doesn't work. So disregard what I said.
Miles, I watched your video today, and it's the greatest video any beginner can watch to become an expert on Keepa. Yeah, y'all check that Keepa tour. That's fire. Right there. Yeah, I posted it today too. So it's, brand new live on the channel. But yeah, no, that's some game from
Miles. Which burner was that posted that comment from? Was
no, that's my dog Malik. No, that's my dog Malik.
That's your second or your third burner.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would never legit looked at Juanita's a few weeks ago. Those are the ones that say, yeah, they're like literally $2.22 a bag, something like that. In fact, I think that Juanita's listing is still up there. I actually looked at it recently. But yeah, and I tried to call. So to take it a step further, when I was getting into wholesale, I tried to call this brand on the phone. I called them like 10 different times. I could never get a hold of anybody. So that's a company where probably a smaller mom and pop brand, obviously a ton of potential for Amazon. I mean, call them up and see if you can get them on the phone. Juanita's tortilla chips.
Yeah, gluten-free.
Tony's having a VA too, as well. He texted me about it. Yeah, he's having his wife's having a VA. Yeah. Yep.
Having a VA.
Having like a baby.
This is nuts.
Great advice.
That is so funny.
Yeah, or at least he texted me something like that. Yeah.
He's having a VA.
Tried the corner at Kennedy Rough, and they showed up at my local Kroger. That's what's up. That's better than 7-Eleven. That's for sure. Better than 7-Eleven.
Yeah, Kat was asking earlier, reasonable amount of capital to be profitable in 3 to 6 months. So it doesn't really matter like what kind of capital you start with in terms of being profitable, just because your overhead is like $90 to $125 for software, right? Throw the Amazon seller counter. So $150 on software. That's like it, right? Throw some boxes in there, but you're filling those up with profit. So not really a major expense. So you should be profitable after like, 4 to 8 weeks as soon as you make your first sales, really.
Yep. Is Keepa necessary to use? Yeah, honestly, there's some Keepa features that SellAmp doesn't have. Yeah. What was up with that recent bit? It wouldn't let you order. Yeah, Corey, what's up with this here?
What is he in business for if he doesn't want to move product? Yeah, so I mean, you could say that for a lot of distributors that I talk to, unfortunately. And listen, chances are they've just had a bad experience with other e-commerce business owners, with other Amazon sellers. And so because of that, he wasn't willing to look past that and talk to me as a legitimate seller because he's had those bad experiences. So it is what it is, right? Not much you can do. So the best I can do is just follow up with him in the future, or work with somebody who does want my money, right? Which is a lot of brands and distributors out there. So it's all good.
That's also why your positioning off the bat is so important, right? Because you have all those negative impressions of Amazon sellers to counteract, right? That's why you have to approach with quantities in mind, or prices in mind, or the specific SKUs and UPCs in mind. All those sorts of things just give you a leg up on the people that aren't prepared and aren't as experienced as you guys.
Yeah. Cool,
Or
appreciate y'all.
option C, put him on blast on Instagram, right? I think
Yeah.
I think that's what you chose.
Yeah, I don't think I said their name or anything like that. Though.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
would be
yeah,
good. So was about to ask about that. I've come across a few items that are FBM only but not profitable. Could I come in at a higher price for FBA and be successful? So general rule of thumb is if you're the only FBA seller on a listing and you're competing with all other FBM, you can typically price somewhere between 5 to 10% above FBM and still win the buy box, right? And the lower the cost of the product, so if it's a lower ticket product, an inexpensive product, you can get away with 7, 8, 10% above the buy box and still win the buy box. But if you're selling an expensive product, it's a $100 product, $300 product, then 10% is like a $30 more. So you can't get away with 10%. You have to be closer to 5%. But in general, yeah, you can price higher than FBM and still win the buy box within reason.
You can go crazy on that during Q4 too as well. Why does
Oh,
it
yeah.
sometimes require 100? Certain brands are just like that. We've still seen 10 work as well too. All right, y'all check out that song I just put in the chat. It's very, very important for character development right there. Very, very important for character.
Is it what I think it is?
Yeah, of course it is. Can you try to find a variation? Yeah, Ronnie, check my keep it. There's full timestamps
D'Angelo
on
Ball.
that as well. So yeah, follow all these guys on socials. We appreciate you guys tapping into another Money Monday, and we'll see you guys next Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern for another one. Y'all be great. Unfollow Garrett on Instagram, and you guys have a great day. We'll talk to you guys soon.
See you guys.
I'll be great.
See you guys.
Listen